Hello again and welcome to today's session with the ARCHLine.XP live ArchViz software. Today we are talking about, I'm going to show you how you can use the so-called LiveSync feature with the design software with ARCHLine.XP, and you will see how you can work with this feature on smaller or larger projects, interior design projects or architectural projects, and how you can follow those changes that are necessary to make during the design phase, and how you can follow those changes on your visuals. So let's see what live is for those of you who are new to this thing, and then let's jump into today's topic. So first I want to say a big thank you for the designers who made this project and made available for us for presentation. This is a beautiful work of two of our users who have a small design office, and actually they designed a quite large area with a residential area with other buildings as well. So I filtered that and narrowed that down to a larger part of the project, and this is where I will show you how this LiveSync feature will work. Now, just to summarize before I start working with the live software, what we have here, we actually have the full architectural model with all the views, the 3D views that I have previously saved, or the designers previously created, and these are the views I'm gonna use for the visuals, and these are the same things that I'm gonna use during the design and creating the visuals, as also for like snapshots, realistic images, and also for animations later on. And this is where I will start off. We also set up the materials previously, and as you can see, this project is not fully finished. And the whole thing that I'm going to show you today is that you're starting to work, you already have a concept, you would like to visualize that, and then what you do when the design changes and you would like to, you already have a design with all the trees and everything else in live, and how to update those changes there. So I talked about the views, I talked about the materials that I'm going to use, and actually here what you can see, those are all set properly with the rendering settings. ARCHLine itself supports the render styles. So these surfaces are either glass or wall surface or something else around. So these are already determined what to be, ceilings and everything else. You just click and drag and you set up the material type easily. Also, the sunlight is set up here. So I'm going to use this view ribbon menu. Here you can see that there is this option to turn the shadow on or off. So we can see, we can barely see a little bit of shadow here appearing. So what I'm gonna do now is I will enable the shadow simulation. So what you will see when I move the time slider, you can see that there are some shadows appearing based on how I oriented my model and what the geolocation of this model is, because obviously in ARCHLine you can set up the geolocation as well, and all this information will be visualized in live. So how you start off, whenever you have this model that you already would like to visualize, even if it's a concept, you go here and you say, okay, I'm gonna visualize this in live. The software tells that it could take a little while because, you know, sometimes you have a lot of surfaces, a lot of materials. This what we can see here in front of us is quite complex already. So even without the rest of the buildings behind us, which we will design later. But it takes relatively short to visualize what we have here. It will take around, I don't know, like 20-30 seconds to visualize this large project. And from that point on, the software will be in continuous connection. I mean, the design, what I've created in the design software, and the visual that I'm gonna see here are in continuous connection, and whatever I do here will be automatically created as an image. Actually, what I already have here is all the images here at the bottom. Those are not only views that I can work with. Obviously, these are all the views that I've created in the design software, but I already have the image files. It appeared on my other screen. Let me just quickly bring this back onto this screen. So what you can see here, I already have these images. So what I will do, I will refine these images. I will add details to these images, and at the end, of course, I will create also an animation. But what you can see here is already the sketch. So if I have a short time, I already have to set and send a previous version of this model. Then I can already do that because these are already on my computer. Okay, so let's just go back and see what else I can do quickly. Let me just quickly reshuffle things around and just work with this model, quickly create a little bit of the surrounding. And just before I do that, so as you can see, I have all these views, I have all the materials appearing on the surfaces properly. Let me just go to the background here and see what happened here. So I have this white surface, which is determined to be a wall surface. This is a glass surface, and for example, this one is also a wall surface, and I still have the option to change its brightness if I like it a little bit more darker, or I can change the materials to something else. Like for example, here at this very area, I would like to change this pattern to something else, something called, which I can find in the stone floor, and I would like to use these concrete tiles here over. And well, I would like to change the grass pattern as well, something a little bit less tinted like this. So I'm going to go to the environment folder, and I'm going to use this one here on this surface, and of course on this surface as well. Let me just go around and change a few things around, like these here. Like this, I'm gonna change into a concrete surface. So I will use this concrete material, but instead of trying to go around and, you know, placing all these materials all around on the same surfaces, I will just use the all instances mode. So I just click it here and I can see the same material appearing everywhere. So I think I'm done with this one. I actually would like to change something here in the background because I will work on this terrace as well, and I prefer to see a little bit darker of this stone surface. So I'm going to go to the stone floor, this one, and I place this here. And because I already enabled this all instances mode, it changed it everywhere, so I didn't have to go through and click onto all of the surfaces. Okay, let me just turn this back on, and I'm going to go back to the first page. And well, talking about the surrounding and talking about what is around this building, we actually have an empty terrain now without the other plots, other buildings. But I would like to quickly add a little bit of the surrounding, like trees and everything else. So I'm going to go to the library here, and I will just use the backgrounds. The software is equipped with cylindrical backgrounds, which I can quickly click and drag. And what you can see, it's nicely blending with the terrain because I have chosen a proper material here. And when I select this here, I can actually just close this back up, and I can just move it up or down a little bit, and I can also change to the rotation mode, so I can rotate it around and see whether I like this sort of position a little bit better than the other one. So this is how it goes. And then if I don't want to manipulate this any longer, I just go back to the default. So this is what happens. And here around this building, just as I mentioned, I would like to place a little bit of the foliage, a little bit of the trees. So what I will use, I will just go to the tree library. The software is equipped with a very large realistic plant and tree library. So what I can do, I can just pick one and say, like, I would like to place this somewhere over here, or I would like to pick another one and place that over there. But there is also actually a tool which is called the Foliage Painter, and that brings up a brush with the trees. So I can just click and drag my mouse over and just say I would like to, just paint a large area with the trees. So this actually makes it much easier. I'm just slowly clicking and dragging all around, and I'm just painting this surface, and I can just do the same all around. So with a little bit of these changes that I already did, I can just go back to the previous view like this one, and it is already fulfilled with life, with trees that are blown by the wind, by the way, and also a nice surrounding and a little bit of this other part. And I can just go back and focus on the cars and the people. So what I do, I just go back here and let me just focus on this parking lot, for example, to this area over here. Let me just use my previously saved views, and this is the one that I'm gonna use. So here around, I would like to place nice cars from the car library. I'm gonna pick this red car over there. Let me just turn it around so it actually is not aligned with the parking lot. So I'm just selecting it. By the way, you can use the hotkeys 1, 2, 3 to move, rotate, or scale the object, or you can just use these here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just rotating this object and then just move it back here. And let me just place another one like this white SUV. You can also download objects. I will also show you how to place objects from the 3D warehouse. Just now, before I start making changes on the original plan, I would like to show you that how easily you can customize the content in front of you. And then we are going back to ARCHLine and make a few of those changes, and we'll update those changes here. So this is what I'm gonna do. And yeah, well, I think a nice human figure would look like a nice part of this project. So I'm just going to zoom over here, and I go to the human library, and I'm gonna select Sophia, who is an animated person that I can select, and I can just rotate her around and just say that, okay, this is where she stands and she's waiting for someone. I will place later a few more items. So this is how you work. You start working on the visual. You put the surrounding in, and you start working with that. You already might have a few light sources, like for example this one. I already have a lamp here, and if I would like to, I can change its the lamp, the light sources in intensity. And when it's nighttime, let me just change the sun settings, which I did not show you before, but actually this is also something that came with the software, with the project, that all the sun settings that we can see here are based on the geolocation from the design software. So what I will do quickly now, I should just set up a different date and a different time when everything is a little bit darker. So what I do here, I select this object and I click here just to demonstrate how you can change the intensity of a light source like this one, and then everything will reflect to that change here as well. And talking about those changes that I made here, for example, with the sunlight, let me just change this back to something as it was originally, like this one. There are situations when you would like to create your visual, one sort of view with one sort of one certain sun setting is cool, it's looking good, but when you go to the backyard of this building, like this part, everything is in shadow and it's not the best view that we can have. But you can easily go to the sunlight settings and you can just change that to somewhere in the afternoon when you benefit from the proper sunlight from the afternoon. And the good and cool thing is that all these settings regarding the sun and the date are stored with the view. So now I don't have to worry about that, oh, now the other side is shaded. No, if you go back to the other view that you used previously, like this one, it is in sunlight, because this view has a different sun setting than the previous view. Of course, you can copy these settings to the other views, but this is not today's topic. So, and by the way, before we go on, now we are at the point where we would like to discuss with the client that this is what I did, and I would like to update all my views here. So I'm gonna reshot all the views here. So I'm going to click here and say, yes, please update all the snapshots. So now the software is doing the exact same thing that it did before. At the beginning, it is just going through all the views and it is updating all the images on my hard drive. So when I click here at the end on this image, I can see that all the, this folder, I can see that all the things that I have here are all updated. Let me just go to this view, for example. I remember I changed the sun setting with this one, and I have nice surrounding here. Let me just go back to these views and we can see all the nice decorative surrounding that I have placed here. So this is how easily you can manage those changes and how easily you can create something very, very visual and beautiful out of your original drawing. So now we are at the point when we would like to go back and see what happens when I discuss changes with the client, and they prefer to have a balcony here, and I check this with the authorities, and I can do that. Actually, I have enough space for that, so I go back to ARCHLine, make those changes, and then I would like to synchronize those changes, keeping all the things that I already changed. I already made a nice visual, so I don't want to lose those things. So I'm going to go back to ARCHLine, into the design software, and let me just select that same exact view that I have here. I think it's the balconies, this one. And on this view, let me just start working on this one a little bit. So what I'm gonna do here, I remove this railing, and I just click here and I quickly change the size of this balcony. I just make it a little bit longer. I don't know, like 2000 millimeters longer. I do the exact same thing with this one at the top. Okay, let's just make it a little bit larger. So actually, when you move something in the software, you define the direction and then you type the distance. This is how easily you can set up a proper length. And then you can actually, at any time, you can go back to the 2D view, like saying, okay, let's show this on floor plan where this is. And I'm gonna place a breakpoint here. This is a node, we call that a node. And then I'm going to use this offset tool to match this with the door, or just moving it by 150 millimeters a little bit longer. And then let's just do the same thing or something similar with the railing. So I'm just changing its length. I'm clicking on this, moving the node to the corner, and I just click on this one as well and change the and append a new line to here. So then let me just go back here. Well, I did not change this one, so let me just quickly find this also on the floor plan. This is where it is. Yeah, okay. So I just quickly do the same thing. So I just click here, insert node. Let me just place this here and just change and make it an offset, like I think it was here. And then, yeah, it was 150 millimeters to the other side of the door. Yeah. So this is how it looks like now. And let me just go back to the 3D. So I changed this thing here, and let me draw your attention to this thing that I already used a previous material. This is actually not the same material I used in live, so I changed the material in live. And all I also would like to have is I also would like to keep that material. I don't want to reapply the material that I already applied in live. So let me just check how that works. So here I have the changes, and then I go back to live, and I would like to update those changes. So for being able to do that, I'm going to go to this menu, and I just use the LiveSync. So now the software is checking the changes and applies these automatically and immediately. So whatever I placed, whatever I changed here are all kept, and all my parts here, or my you know, railings, that everything that I have created, everything as a new thing is appearing just as I expected that. And then I can make an updated visual out of this thing. So this is how you can make those changes here all around. So let me just go back and see what else we have. Okay, so that is the view around. Well, everything is fine here. Let me check my notes if I forgot anything, but I think this is what I wanted to show regarding the changes. And of course, whenever you change a material, let me just show you another example, because this is also important. If you have a change in the original design that, for example, you have to change the material itself. Let me just go back to that view, like into this one. And here on this surface, I already have a nice brick cladding applied onto the wall surface. And let me just change the sunlight to make it a little bit brighter, like this one. I mean, I think this looks cool. Yeah. So so here I would like to apply another material, but I also would like to reflect this into the in the documentation. So what I need to do, I need to go back to ARCHLine, and here of course I need to change those things. Let me just turn the shadow off. So here I would like to apply different cladding, for example. Let me just find something like brick here. And well, I already have a few nice materials here. Let me just try to use let me see how it looks like with a brick that is white. So apply this onto this wall surface, and I would like to change it for some reason. I would like to change it only on this wall and only on that wall here at the bottom, and also, for example, here at the top of this this opening. And I would like to check how it looks like. And before I just made those changes, everything was like this. So again, I go here and I just use LiveSync again, and then the software updates those changes. So this is how it works. The software is trying to keep track of the things that are changed, and trying to identify things that are the same objects, the same wall, but applied with different material. And this way it is trying to help you the best way it can, and it can update all those things. And another thing, if you already have a model like this one, and you would like to insert new objects, you know already that in the navigator we have cars, I don't know, chairs and tables and everything else. Let me just put a few of those here. But what happens if you would like to download a few things? I would like to show you that as well. So let me just go to the table library, the plants library, and I would like to place a nice plant here to this balcony. And well, this is actually in the decoration, decoration is here. And I would like to place this one over there, and another one to the other side of the balcony over there. This nice philodendron looks cool. And then here at the bottom, I would like to place a nice place for the people who want to grill some nice food. So I'm going to go here and trying to find a few chairs in the chair library. And I'm going to use, I think I will use something wooden like this one. So this should be placed over there, and let me just rotate it over like this way. I like that one, and I think it is okay. And I will just quickly, you know, copy this object, and let me just go back and paste it over, for example, here. And let me just place another copy here. Yeah, like that one, and then rotate it. Yeah, this is okay. So here I would like to place a fireplace. But this is also something that for some reason I would like to reflect also here for fire safety reasons and everything else. I also need to represent on the 2D and in the 3D. So what I do, I go either I go online and I try to find something in the 3D warehouse. Let me just try that first. And you need to log in, of course, into the 3D warehouse, being able to search and download things. Let me just find something called Fireplace. Fireplace. And see what I find here. Well, these are internal fireplaces, so I should look around and try to find other things. But I actually already downloaded something called Fireplace in my library, so I just search for that. So Fireplace. This is what I downloaded earlier, this modern fireplace, this one. So I just zoom into this ARCHLine model, and I would like to place this here into this corner. I hope there will be enough space for that. Yeah, there is. So I just place it over there, and then I will just rotate it around. Let's say I'm gonna rotate it in a way like this larger part is at the back of the wall, and then I have enough space for the chairs, so they are appearing nicely over there. So this is what I do. Okay, nice. I have this fireplace here, so I'm willing to synchronize this to live. So I go back and use the LiveSync. So this is it, it appears. And then I can also go back and say, well, I would like to place a nice fire effect here inside. So I go and try to find the effects. And we actually have a few of those fires here. I think it's a bit wild, so let me just undo that and use a smaller version. As you can see, there is fire L, M, and S, like medium, large, and small. So you can just use that, and then it nicely appears over there, and you just do the surrounding, and it will be a very, very nice and beautiful living part of the model. You just populate this thing with all the rest of the human assets, the cars and everything else, and then you will have a very, very, very beautiful rendering that you can just update in seconds. Let me just show you what the final version of this project was, and then I'm willing to show you an interior design example as well. So let me just go back to the starting page of ARCHLine.XP Live, because I actually already have the fully detailed, rich version of this model. And then there you will see that how large this area really is, what our designers created and designed in ARCHLine. So this model contains not only this building, and not only the trees and cars and humans that I've placed there, but others as well, and all the other parts of the buildings and the rest of this residential area are all populated with beautiful buildings. Now this is the first view. Let me just go back to something that we already recognize. I used this view, so you can see how the final version is really detailed with all the trees and also the lamps, and the street is having a car there. And let me just go and turn the camera around to the other side, and this is actually it's a full street here with all the rest of the surrounding and all the trees. As you can see, those are very nice detailed parts of the model. So this is what we can use as a basis of our images, and also we can create animated visuals like videos. We have a material about that, how you can do that, so I'm not focusing on that one, but I would like to show you what our designers did and how the final visual looks like. So let me just have a final look on the final version of this video. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. It seems that I did not have voice until this point. So let me just quickly repeat what happened before. So we already have all these materials applied, all the views created, and what I did before, I just quickly passed the content to live, and then here in live we have this this visualization, this nice visual already. And what I'm doing now, I'm just quickly customizing this view with all these assets, so that I have something that I already do not want to lose when I would like to synchronize the changes. So what I do now, I go back to ARCHLine, and I just select the same view with the armchair, this one. And then it will be a very simple change. Instead of this one single basin, I would like to have two, for example. So I just click on this one, on this one, on this one, and on this one. Let me just move all those a little bit to the right side, so I have a lot of space on the right still for the other things. And then I just click here and I just move a copy, and I do that same thing over here. So I made a big change here, and the same way I could change the whole layout, I can change the tiling, I can move walls, I can change the ceiling. So I made a few changes, and then I can go back here and just use the same thing here, LiveSync, and then the software will figure out things, and it will show me what are the changes updated to my current model. And then, well, I need to modify the position of this one because it is overlapping this part here, but other than that, everything was kept, and I'm happy with the results. So this is how you can work with that. Actually, I already have this the final version of this project as well, so you can see how nice and detailed the project our designer created. This is the final version. And based on that final version, which already features beautiful candle lights and waving water on the surfaces, which is by default automatic in the software when you apply a water surface on the design software. And see that happens over here, and we have those nice candle lights here, a little bit blown by the air. And so this is what we have here as a nice final visual here. And then also we can create a beautiful final version as an animated version, not only the images but also the animated version of this. And I would like to show you that as well. So let me have a look and let me show you how this looks like in the final. Okay, so this is it. This is LiveSync in action. This is how you can work with it. Should you be an architect or should you be an interior designer? I hope you liked the content, and let me just check whether you had a question during this show. Well, yeah, I'm sorry for the sound. It was not running for a while. If you have a question, please just comment now too. If you forgot to send me any of your questions. In the upcoming webinars, we will also show you other interesting things. Let me just, until I wait for your questions, let me just go here and see what we have on our plate. So what we have today is today's webinar with the LiveSync, and then next time I'm going to talk about how LiveSync works with the SketchUp software, and also there will be a nice and interesting thing coming at the first weekend of first Wednesday of October, when I'm going to talk about a new feature with the walking people and moving vehicles, which will be a cool thing. And I hope you will like that content as well. So I think that there are no other questions coming up. A few times users are asking whether I can synchronize all my material changes, and just as I show you, yes, you can. So when you make changes in the original drawing and you apply that material just as I did on a certain surface, you actually will see that change reflected also in live, in your final visual. And the way the software connects these two projects, I mean the ARCHLine.XP project and the live project, it is based on the file name. So till you keep the file name, those two will find each other. So if you move around the project or something, then you need to reestablish the live link connection. But until you keep the files in place, it is just as simple as it was here. You just push the button and then it finds the project, it finds the changes, and then it synchronizes the changes. There could be a situation when this is also a question sometimes when for example I have a project, but I actually completely changed it, and I throw out everything, and I just would like to synchronize those changes here as well. So what I would like to talk about, that the live is trying to avoid if the changes are too much. If live realizes that too many things changed in the project, then it will show you a dialog that, well, this is perhaps is the same project, but it is a completely different content. So should I swap the content completely, or should we open up a new project with that one? So you still have an option. Also, there is a question sometimes with the lighting. Lights are also synchronized. So if you bring in new lamps, all the new lamps will be visualized also in the final version. And when you do all the changes with the other assets, if you remove a wall, if you move a door, if you completely reestablish connections between the structure that I did before with the previous project, then all those changes will be reflected just as you would expect. So this is it. I hope you liked the content, and I would like to see you next time at the following webinar, when I will talk about the other interesting thing with the SketchUp synchronization. So thank you for coming today and having a nice show here. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.